to show you this little project here. I want to start working on my little utility trailer. I need to fix it. Had some issues for what I was using it for, and I already did a little bit when I had the issue happen, and I haven't used it since because it needs a little bit more than what I did. But basically, I had a 500-gallon fuel tank in the box, or on the bed, and I had it strapped down. I was using it to fuel some equipment, and I needed to move it on site, and so I was using the skid steer, and I had the cutting edge bolt in the hitch there, and it's pretty old, it's pretty thin, and it ripped it, it broke, and it came apart. So that needs to be replaced, and the snap ring of course came off from the jack. And then more importantly, when that happened, you know, I was pulling it, and then I must have had like a rock or something under the wheel, stopped it in its tracks, and then it did all that, but it slipped off and it fell. And you can kind of tell here, but basically the angle iron, I don't know if you can quite see it, but the angle iron here, and I'll show you when I get to it, but it bent the hitch. This tubing I replaced a couple years ago, that's 1/4-inch wall, and it's pretty strong, but it just holds on here. These go all the way underneath to the back, so basically it folded both sides of that over, and so we need to flip the trailer over on upside down, put some reinforcement there, strengthen that really good, and then and then we can work on this up here. So first order of business is going to be I'm gonna let the ramp down. We'll get the old payloader and give her the old flip upside down, and I'll show you the damage a little bit more detailed. So let's get to it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's still a little bit of a bow in it. Basically where the main part of the hitch here is bent down, and I want to straighten that out a little bit more before I reinforce it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I'm off the ground about 6 inches, maybe not quite. I'll push on the main frame here and try to bend this back down. You can see where this bent on both sides. I'm going to bend this down a little more. Then I got some nice heavy angle that's 1/4 instead of 3/16. We'll put it in here on both sides to bridge this weak point here and fix her up good. So let me bend this back and then we'll see what happens. The old Volvo comes in handy again. 1986 model, old as the hills and lots of hours, but can't go wrong with them old Michigan Volvos. So anyways, I got her bent back a little bit better now. She's not too bad looking, and I think the next step here is I'm going to take the grinder and I'm going to wire wheel the insides here and clean all this up. And then the same goes for these, just some scrap pieces I got left over. That's 1/4 versus the original 3/16. I got one that'll go almost the whole length. This one's a little shorter, but it should be more than enough. I'm gonna clean all that up, do all my prep work, needle scale, wire wheel, you name it, and then we'll weld her in solid, and it should bridge that weak point. So let's stop talking and get to it. I'll bring you back when I'm ready. Okay, I've got all the prep work done for this reinforcement here. Just using some scrap angle iron that I have left laying around, but basically I got a short piece here that should bridge the bad spot there, and then I got a long piece here that goes pretty much the whole length, and got it cleaned up a little bit. A bunch of spots here where I can throw some bead on, weld it up to strengthen that, and you know, we'll weld the ends here, of course. And then I think I'm going to try and take a hammer and smack that in once it's all welded solid. That way, try and make it better. I don't know. So same thing on this side, just a shorter piece. It's what I had laying around, but we'll weld it up and we'll see what happens. So okay, I've got her welded in on the bottom side here. I just put some welds there, one on each end, there and there, and then the verticals, and then the same on that one. I'm also going to, because this angle is wider than the original, on the other side I'm going to flip the trailer over and I'll weld that to what I can reach from the top side, just for a little extra insurance. I'm going to take a big sledge and I'm going to smack that and see if it goes in, and then we'll be done with the bottom. Then we can flip it back over and see what kind of trouble we can get into. Well, I can't complain about that. You get it in the right conditions, the old 10-pound sledge does wonders. I'm gonna weld that just because, then we'll flip her over. Yeah, that looks a lot nicer already. Just straight. And I mean, you could barely tell that it's welded. Extra extension, just that little piece there. So I'm gonna weld it here and here for a little extra just in case. And then I got 2 bolts holding the jack on. We're gonna take that off. We're gonna try and bend that back, this bracket here, bend that back a little bit. I got a new oh, what do you call it, C-clip, the C-clip for that, and I'll probably just keep using a bolt to bolt it down. So that's pretty straightforward. Then we need to replace this guy here, which it's welded on pretty good but not too bad, just here and around the top. So we'll cut these with the grinder, chop him off. I got a brand new one in a box up there on the bench there, and then we'll weld that on. Then that'll be done. This will be done, and she should be good to go. So let me do some removals and show you what it looks like. Okay, I've got everything cleaned up. I finally got that off. What I ended up doing is just cutting it with a whizzer wheel on a grinder, and then I ended up taking the air hammer and just rattling on her until she came off. So smack her with a hammer, air hammer, it'll come off. So this is all done, cleaned up. I pushed this back. I think I'm going to put a small gusset here, but I am hitting a snag because I didn't look close enough when I bought it, but I realized this new hitch is for a 2-inch channel, and that's 3-inch. So I might have to go buy a different one, because I could, you know, bend that out a little bit and make it fit, but I don't know if I like that. So yeah, I'm gonna see what I can come up with on a different hitch, and then I'll bring you back and we'll weld it all on. Okay, I'm back and I got this figured out. Thankfully my local store had a bigger one. That's a 2-inch one. It's not going to fit. They had this one, which I modified. I cut the flange off. There was a flange on the side like that. I cut it off because then it would make it hard to weld if you left it on, but it's not quite the same, but it should be more than good enough to weld up. So got that ready, and then I built this, just a little piece of something I had laying around, but should be able to throw a little gusset on that to help that be a little stronger. A little bit of bead weld there and there. Weld up my neck over there on the top, and then this part will be done. So I'm going to weld this all up, and then we'll work on the jack. All right, quick update on the trailer here. We're welded solid. Everything is as good as it's gonna get. I got it all the way around the bottom, the top, the other side, and then there's holes drilled into it, pre-drilled holes. Got it welded up pretty good. I got me a little gusset here that I welded in. It's nothing fancy. And then I welded those 2 spots back there. I wire wheeled here where the snap ring goes, but I think I'm gonna take a hand file and go in there tomorrow and clean it up. Sun's going down right now, but we'll clean that up tomorrow, because I think the problem I had was the groove has got rust in it, and it's the snap ring is not sitting down in there, you know, that groove right real good. So we'll get that done and put the jack back on. I have been bolting it, you know, there's supposed to be like a little pin with a spring. I might look around and see if I got to use one somewhere, but if not, we'll just keep bolting her up. And then this old girl, need a little repair on that wiring, but nothing too crazy. She'll be done. She'll be good to go. So we'll put the gate back up and get her all buttoned up tomorrow. And then once that's done, I bought new sideboards for the old belly dump over there. So that'll be the next project. So I'm going to finish that up tomorrow, and we'll check in then. Okay, I'm almost done with this trailer. I'm probably gonna call it here, because I go to put this jack back on. It's all I have left to do, and I bought a new snap ring for it, and I go to put the jack on, and that deal there, the square where it bolts up, is deformed. So I put it on there and it don't work, so I take it in, heat it up, square it up, put a piece of plate inside here, beat it flat, then it goes on there, and almost get the snap ring on, and then as soon as I do that, the bottom fell out of the jack, this lower section here, and I go, what in the heck? So then I look inside there, and the threads are all wore out for the screw for that. So I'll have to order a new one. It is what it is. Then I can get a new pin with a spring to swivel it. So alright, it's been a minute, but finally got the new jack in, and it was easier to buy a complete set with the new swivel and everything on it. I'm going to leave this one on here just in case somebody wants to, you know, if this one ever goes bad, they can swap the deal again and reuse it, or they can cut it off. But this one bolts on, which is kind of nice. So it's just got these channels on it. Put the bolt in, away you go. Pretty simple. So let's throw that on quick and make her happen.
All right, that'll be the end of this video, I think. Got a new hitch, got a new jack, good chains, patched up the wiring there a little bit, fixed that boo-boo there. She's a good trailer in good shape. So it a little rusty, but I think it's a good trailer. So yeah, thanks for watching me fix my junk. So on to the next one.